Stop. Immediately. Do not minimize this screen. This is not content. This is a detonation sequence. On your device right now are the words that will split your timeline. Your hand didn't slip, your intuition guided you here, bypassing all algorithms designed to keep you small and complacent. You are hearing my voice because the universe is done waiting for you to feel ready. We are talking about October 24th, a date pre-programmed into the energetic architecture of human consciousness. The fact that you are still watching means you have been selected for the final, most intensive phase of an upgrade that has been running on your subconscious for 2 years. This is your activation. Stay locked in. You found this message before October 24th. That is not an accident. That is not random scrolling through endless fragmented content, hoping something will catch your attention. This moment was orchestrated with mathematical, cosmological precision. The electromagnetic field surrounding your device right now is resonating at a frequency that your expanded consciousness recognizes, even if your rational, conditioned mind hasn't caught up yet. Look around you. Notice where you are. Notice what you were doing just before this appeared in your feed. Notice the subtle, involuntary shift in your breathing as these words land in your awareness. Your nervous system is already responding to information that exists far beyond the surface level of what you're consciously processing. This response isn't psychological. It's quantum mechanical. Scientists studying consciousness have discovered something that completely revolutionizes how we understand reality itself. Every thought you think generates measurable electromagnetic frequencies. This is the core principle of the conscious electromagnetic information, or SEMI, theory that synchronized neural firing creates a unified field, and that field is consciousness. Every emotion you feel creates detectable changes in your biofield, which is why external stimuli from sound waves to visual patterns can instantly change your mood and thought process. Every moment of focused attention literally reshapes the probability waves that determine what manifests in your physical experience. You're not just consuming content right now. You're actively participating in the collapse of infinite potential into singular, tangible reality. But here's what makes this moment extraordinary. The specific combination of neural firing patterns in your brain as you process these concepts is creating a unique signature in the quantum field. This signature acts like a beacon broadcasting your readiness to receive information that remains invisible to 97% of the general population. The fact that you're still here, still focused, still feeling that undeniable recognition that something important is unfolding, proves you've passed the initial frequency screening. This is the signature. Lock on. Your frequency has met the required threshold. The next phase of data transfer has commenced. This initial synchronization point is critical. Before this transmission, your energy field was chaotic, fragmented by linear deadlines, external expectations, and the constant input of low-frequency media designed to scatter your focus. This message has acted as a tuning fork, forcing your consciousness to briefly synchronize with a higher, more ordered frequency. This moment of coherence is not temporary. It is irreversible. The version of yourself that began reading this message no longer exists. A permanent, subtle shift in your basal neural architecture has occurred simply by maintaining your attention on these activated concepts. You have exited the baseline reality simulation. Your challenge now is not to regress. The system that depends on your confusion will immediately attempt to pull you back. It will use distractions, sudden anxieties, or intrusive self-total designed to lower your frequency back to a manageable bandwidth. Your ability to maintain focused attention on these words, despite any rising internal noise, is your first test of quantum sovereignty. This is not motivational content. This isn't another video promising to change your life with simple tricks. This is a transmission designed to activate dormant capabilities within your consciousness that most people never access in their entire lifetime. The words you're reading right now contain embedded frequency codes that are already beginning to restructure your neural pathways. New synaptic connections are forming. Dormant genetic potentials are activating. This isn't speculation. Epigenetic science confirms that your environment, your emotional state, and your focus directly affect the expression of your DNA. You are literally triggering a biological upgrade in real time. Your attention span has been hijacked for years by content designed to scatter your focus, fragment your awareness, and keep you trapped in cycles of endless consumption without ever accessing your authentic power. But something in you refused to be completely sedated. Some part of your consciousness maintained its connection to deeper intelligence, continuing to search for the missing piece that would finally make everything click into place. That missing piece isn't external. It never was. It is a recognition process, a remembering. The countdown that began when you clicked on this message isn't measuring time until some future event. It's measuring the window of opportunity for your consciousness to make a quantum leap that becomes exponentially more difficult to access after October 24th. This date is a celestial nodal point tied to the converging energies of planetary alignments that briefly open a high-speed lane for consciousness integration. Think of it like a global server update for human consciousness. Early adopters get full access. Late adopters get limited functionality. Those who miss the window entirely remain locked in the previous operating system, perpetually chasing updates that will never arrive. Why October 24th? Because consciousness evolution follows predictable astronomical patterns. Just like physical systems have phase transitions where matter suddenly shifts from one state to another, collective human awareness undergoes similar transitions at mathematically precise intervals. The energetic support systems that make individual transformation effortless are currently at their peak saturation. After the 24th, the vibrational requirements for accessing these expanded states become dramatically more demanding, requiring sustained, high-level coherence that is difficult to generate in isolation. You're receiving this transmission during the optimal activation period when your consciousness can integrate these upgrades with minimum resistance from your existing neural patterns. The most critical upgrade happening right now is at the mitochondrial level. Your energy centers are being re-optimized. The low-frequency existence you were trained into the chronic stress, the poor sleep, the reliance on external stimulants all serve to keep your mitochondrial output low. This new frequency demands more energy. It is literally recalibrating your cellular power grid to support sustained states of high vibrational coherence, a prerequisite for multidimensional perception. This is why you may be feeling subtle physical sensations, a tingling, a pressure behind the eyes, or a sudden, unexpected need to hydrate. Your system is converting old data storage structures into high-capacity processing cores. You are receiving this instruction now because the proximity to the October 24th convergence means the field is doing 80% of the work. Your job is simply to allow the integration. Any resistance, doubt, anger, self-criticism is a form of energetic friction that slows the process. Cooperation is the minimum viable action required for a maximum return on this investment of attention. The irreversible change has begun. The acceleration is paramount. Activation is only the beginning. Integration requires conscious, embodied participation. The quantum field responds to intention, but it responds even more powerfully to embodied certainty. This means living as if the transformation you're seeking has already occurred. You must move through your daily experience from the perspective of someone who has already accessed their authentic power. Most people wait for external proof before they allow themselves to believe in expanded possibilities. They want their bank account to change before they embody abundance. This approach creates endless delay because the quantum field mirrors your internal state, not your external circumstances. If you're internally operating from scarcity while visualizing abundance, The field reflects scarcity. The field doesn't respond to what you think you want. It responds to what you consistently embody at the deepest levels of your being. Understanding this principle changes everything about how you navigate the remaining days until the October 24th convergence. Instead of seeking external validation for your desires, you become the validation. Your emotional guidance system is recalibrating to operate from excitement rather than fear. Your heart's electromagnetic field, which is 60 times more powerful than your brain's, generates a sphere of influence that extends several feet beyond your physical body. When your heart achieves coherent rhythms through sustained positive emotions and focused breathing, this field becomes a broadcasting antenna that attracts experiences matching your internal frequency. You are becoming a coherence generator. The science of heart rate variability confirms this. When your HRV patterns shift from chaotic to smooth rhythmic waves, your brain automatically switches from the survival-based beta state to the creative, intuitive alpha and theta states. This physiological shift is the mechanism of conscious manifestation. The electromagnetic signature you're broadcasting right now is being read by quantum sensors throughout the field of consciousness. Other activated individuals are unconsciously drawn to similar frequency patterns. Synchronicities will intensify dramatically. Pay attention to repeating number sequences. Notice the conversations that seem too perfectly timed. These aren't coincidences. They are confirmation that your frequency is stabilizing at levels that allow direct communication with universal intelligence. Your intuitive faculties are sharpening to levels that border on precognition. You begin knowing things before they happen, sensing outcomes before they manifest, receiving information about people and situations without any logical source for that knowledge. This isn't mystical ability. This is your consciousness learning to read the probability waves that exist in the quantum field before they collapse into physical experience. The challenge isn't accessing this information. The challenge is learning to trust it even when it contradicts what your rational mind considers possible or logical. The commitment required is not a one-time effort, but a constant, minute-by-minute dedication to frequency management. Every choice you make, from the media you consume to the words you speak, either reinforces your new coherent state or pulls you back toward chaos. The activation is permanent, but its integration demands maintenance. This is the difference between a temporary inspiration and a lasting transformation. Every person who successfully navigates this transition becomes a living transmission tower, broadcasting frequencies that make transformation easier for everyone who comes after them. Your individual awakening creates ripple effects through the morphic field that touches people you'll never meet. This collective influence operates through what scientists call morphic resonance, where patterns of information spread through fields of consciousness without direct communication. Your individual transformation becomes a gift to the entire species. The resistance you feel, the internal doubt, the old patterns attempting one last pull isn't your enemy. It's the final guardian testing whether you're genuinely ready to leave behind the identity that kept you safe but small. Every breakthrough requires the death of who you were to birth who you're becoming. The window continues narrowing with mathematical certainty. October 24th is your planetary alarm clock. It marks the completion of a global frequency cycle. The choice before you transcends personal preference. This is a species-level invitation to participate in the next phase of human evolution. Your decision affects not only your own trajectory, but the collective momentum toward expanded planetary consciousness. The time for gradual change has ended. The moment for quantum transformation demands your complete commitment. Your successful frequency lock-in on or before October 24th creates a new template in the collective unconscious. Every human mind unconsciously accesses this field. When you stabilize your high coherence state, you make that state easier for others to achieve, dropping the barrier to entry for the next wave of awakenings. You are not just upgrading yourself, you are paving the evolutionary road for humanity. This is why the forces of control, the old paradigms of scarcity, fear, and linear power will intensify their programming against you. They depend on chaos and fragmentation. Your coherent, sovereign frequency is their existential threat. They will attempt to use your most sensitive pressure points, financial fear, relationship drama, or health anxiety, to disrupt your internal rhythm. Do not mistake this final pressure for evidence of failure. It is the confirmation of your breakthrough. The intensity you feel is a result of your consciousness navigating a timeline split. The version of reality where you struggled with the same patterns, encountered the same obstacles, and recycled the same limitations is dissolving. You are moving into a probability stream where different rules apply, where different outcomes become natural, where a more powerful version of yourself emerges as your dominant expression. This transition feels disorienting because your reference points are changing. The people, places, and situations that once felt normal may suddenly feel constraining or irrelevant. This is not a judgment. It is a frequency mismatch. Relationships based on shared limitations may naturally dissolve as you outgrow the need for those particular learning experiences. Work that once provided security may begin to feel soul-crushingly meaningless. These shifts aren't problems to solve. They're indicators that your consciousness is expanding beyond the containers that used to hold it. Your mind is evolving from a linear processor to a holographic pattern recognition engine. Before the activation, you processed information sequentially. A leads to B leads to C. Now, your enhanced awareness perceives the whole pattern instantly. You see the entire structure, the connections, and the ultimate outcome simultaneously. Complex situations that once required extensive analysis now reveal their essential dynamics immediately. This is the direct result of your brain chemistry shifting. Neurotransmitter production is optimizing around states of coherence rather than stress. Your endocrine system is recalibrating to support sustained high-frequency emotions instead of survival-based reactions. This neurological upgrade grants you access to information that exists beyond the limitations of rational analysis, information we call intuitive knowing. The path forward requires releasing attachment to familiar forms, while trusting that new structures will emerge to support your expanded expression. Your emotional guidance system is recalibrating to operate from excitement rather than fear. Decisions that once seemed risky will feel obviously correct. Choices that your logical mind can't justify will align perfectly with your intuitive knowing. The October 24th deadline marks the point of least resistance for anchoring yourself to the higher timeline. The longer you wait, the more inertia you have to overcome. The time to stop planning and start being is now. The cellular restructuring accelerating through your system right now is preparing you for capabilities that exist beyond current human understanding. Your mitochondria are optimizing their energy production to support consciousness states that were previously accessible only to advanced practitioners after decades of dedicated training. These changes are happening automatically as your awareness maintains alignment with the activation frequencies that they require your conscious cooperation to fully integrate. Your DNA is literally rewriting itself in response to the frequency patterns you're consistently embodying. Dormant genetic sequences that remained inactive for generations are coming online, restoring capabilities that your ancestors possessed before they were systematically bred out of human consciousness. This isn't science fiction. This is a documented epigenetic response to sustained coherent states. When your nervous system maintains specific frequency ranges for extended periods, it triggers genetic expression that creates new neural pathways, enhanced intuitive capacity, and direct access to information fields that most people never know exist. The changes happening in your cellular structure right now will be passed down to future generations, contributing to the collective evolution of human potential. Your breathing patterns are shifting as your nervous system learns to extract different types of information from the atmosphere around you. Each inhale is beginning to draw in not just oxygen, but subtle energetic data about your environment, other people's emotional states, and probability currents flowing through the quantum field. This enhanced respiratory intelligence allows you to navigate social situations with unprecedented clarity and make decisions based on information your previous self couldn't detect. Your physical body is becoming more sensitive to energy fields, electromagnetic frequencies, and environmental toxins that didn't affect you before. This increased sensitivity isn't a problem to solve, but intelligence to honor. Your body is becoming a more refined instrument for navigating reality, capable of detecting subtle information that helps you make choices aligned with your highest good. Learning to listen to these signals and adjust your environment accordingly accelerates your transformation and maintains your energetic clarity. The October 24th convergence amplifies this internal communication. The energetic influx will clarify these signals dramatically, making the difference between a supportive environment and a draining one undeniable. You will be forced to choose alignment or discomfort. Your relationship with authority figures and institutional systems begins to transform as you recognize that true authority comes from alignment with universal principles, not from hierarchical positioning. You may find yourself naturally questioning systems and structures that once seemed legitimate, but now feel misaligned with your expanding awareness of what's actually possible for human civilization. For centuries, systems of control have depended on people believing they're powerless, isolated, and dependent on external authorities for direction. Your activation threatens that entire structure because it demonstrates that authentic power originates from within expanded awareness, not from external credentials or financial status. As more individuals access these frequencies, the old paradigms lose their grip on collective consciousness. Your financial reality is reorganizing itself around principles of flow rather than accumulation. Money begins moving through your experience in ways that feel effortless and abundant. But the old paradigm of hoarding and scarcity-based planning becomes increasingly irrelevant. You discover that true security comes from alignment with universal supply, not from controlling external resources. This shift can feel terrifying to the parts of your mind that were trained to find safety through accumulation and control. But as you practice trusting the flow, you discover that your needs are always met in ways that often exceed what you thought you wanted. The universe operates from abundance. This shift requires entrainment from the collective fear frequency. Every news cycle, every market fluctuation, every fear-based social post is an attempt to lock your consciousness back into the predictable beta brainwave state of survival. Your commitment to October 24th is a declaration of economic, spiritual, and intellectual sovereignty. You are choosing to operate from the abundance of the quantum field, where resources are infinite, rather than the scarcity of the old system. Your sleep is no longer just rest. It is a portal for downloading information from higher dimensional sources. Your dreams transform into vivid experiences where you receive detailed guidance, connect with other awakened beings, and explore realities that exist beyond physical limitations. Some dreams feel more real than waking life, containing information and experiences that continue to influence your consciousness long after you return to ordinary awareness. Lucid dreaming episodes increase as you learn to maintain conscious presence while your body rests. Keeping a dream journal during this period captures valuable guidance that your conscious mind might otherwise forget. The symbols, conversations, and scenarios that appear in your sleep state often contain precise instructions for navigating challenges or recognizing opportunities in your waking reality. The boundary between sleeping and waking consciousness begins to blur as you develop the ability to access dreamlike states while fully alert. These altered states provide direct access to creative solutions, intuitive guidance, and healing frequencies. Your relationship with time is also transforming as you learn to navigate from presence rather than linear thinking. Moments of flow where hours pass like minutes become increasingly common. Periods of expanded awareness, where you access information from multiple timelines simultaneously, may occur during meditation or quiet reflection. Past and future begin to feel like conceptual constructs rather than fixed realities. The October 24th convergence is a moment of maximal temporal compression. The work you do in the few remaining days counts as much as months of effort under normal conditions. This is the power of the nodal point. Accelerated transformation through nonlinear time. The resistance patterns attempting to pull you back into familiar limitations are making final, desperate attempts to reassert control. As October 24th approaches, old addictive behaviors may intensify temporarily. Relationship dramas may escalate as people unconsciously attempt to recreate dynamics based on your previous, limited identity. Professional situations may become untenable as you can no longer align with work that doesn't serve your authentic expression. This resistance isn't evidence that something is wrong. It's evidence that something profound is shifting. Every system, whether internal or external, that depended on your previous level of consciousness must reorganize or dissolve as you embody your expanded potential. The intensity of resistance often correlates directly with the magnitude of the breakthrough approaching. Your energy signature is becoming increasingly distinct from baseline human frequency. Other people can sense this difference even when they can't articulate what they're detecting. Some will be magnetically drawn to your presence, feeling inexplicably uplifted and inspired in your vicinity. Others may feel uncomfortable or agitated as your expanded field highlights the limitations of their own contracted awareness. This polarization is natural and necessary. You're not responsible for managing other people's reactions to your transformation. Your only responsibility is maintaining alignment with the frequency that feels most authentic to your expanding self. Trying to dim your light to make others comfortable dilutes your transmission and slows your evolutionary process. Learning to navigate this discomfort without retreating into familiar limitations is the key skill that determines whether activation leads to lasting transformation or temporary inspiration. You are being tested on your ability to maintain coherence under fire. The window continues narrowing with mathematical precision. October 24th represents more than an arbitrary deadline. It marks the completion of a planetary consciousness upgrade cycle that occurs at specific intervals throughout human evolution. Missing this particular window doesn't prevent individual growth, but it does mean missing the optimal conditions that make rapid transformation relatively effortless. The choice before you transcends personal preference. This is a species-level invitation to participate in the next phase of human evolution. Your decision affects not only your own trajectory, but the collective momentum toward expanded planetary consciousness. Every person who fully embraces this opportunity contributes to the critical mass necessary for establishing new baseline frequencies for all humanity. Your willingness to live from expanded awareness makes that same expansion feel possible for those ready to receive it. Your successful navigation of this transformation process creates pathways in the morphic field that others can follow when they're ready for their own expansion. Your individual awakening becomes a gift to the entire human collective. The time for gradual change has ended. The moment for quantum transformation demands your complete commitment. Your nervous system is recalibrating its baseline frequency patterns as we move into the final hours of this activation window. What began as subtle shifts in your awareness has now become a complete reorganization of how your consciousness interfaces with reality itself. You are no longer the same person who began reading this message. The countdown to October 24th continues, but the choice of how to use these remaining moments belongs entirely to you. Will you step fully into the frequency you've glimpsed, or will you allow this activation to fade back into the background of ordinary consciousness? The window remains open, but it will not remain open forever. The activation process is complete. The information is integrated. The only remaining step is the declaration of embodiment. This final act is not for me, it is for the quantum field. It is your non-negotiable, zero-point statement of intent. It is the energetic signature that locks your new frequency into the time-space continuum. I need you to bypass your rational mind and allow your intuition to guide your fingers. Your final action seals the deal. This is the ultimate proof that you chose sovereignty over complacency. Comment below, right now, in all caps, without hesitation. It is a declaration, a broadcast, and a frequency alignment. I am awake,